Okay. Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. Ranger is back in his assigned spot. So today I have the one light I normally use, and I set the little round lamp that I played with yesterday over here to try to see how we feel about this. A little bit of a different glow. Oh. What is he doing? He said, let me fix my bed. I'm wearing the same sweatshirt as last night. When I first started making videos, I had this feeling of I have to switch up what I'm wearing all of the time. And then at some point I was like, that's ridiculous. People wear sweatshirts and other clothing for multiple days in a row. It's okay to wear a sweatshirt 2 days in a row. It says it's all good in my hood. This is Ket's, oh my gosh, I'm blanking. Nips? Ket's Nips? I'm blanking on the Instagram meme character. But oh my gosh, I used to watch this stuff all the time on Instagram. It's so funny, but I haven't really looked at it in a while. But I thought it was cute. And what's cute is two of my very dear friends got the same hoodie, but they actually got it in different color scheme. I think they did blue and purple. I wanted the more rainbow one. Oh gosh. So I wanted to talk tonight about something that I was thinking about. I know, I was thinking about this in the context of thinking, I know a lot of people use ASMR to study and with schoolwork, things like that. And I was thinking about I thought I would talk to you about if you're anxious or worried about exams. But then I thought, honestly, you can really extrapolate that out to if the stuff I want to talk about is any sort of high stress moment. If you're feeling any sort of high stress moment, I think there is one thought that is kind of a couple ways to kind of train your brain and reframe sort of what you might be thinking. I think I've used this before. This is Soylent. I really like Soylent. This is a Soylent bottle. And I like the sounds. Do a little bit of that for you lid aficionados. Oops, sorry. I like the sounds that this bottle makes. I like the aesthetic of just the white bottle. I obviously peeled the label, but I really like it as a meal replacement. So anyway, what I wanted to talk to you about is if you are in a moment of high stress and I gotta turn off if you are in a moment of high stress because you are preparing for an exam, or you have a really big assignment due, if you're in school and you're worried about a big test or something like that, or if you're working and you have a really important presentation, or you have an interview, something really big and important that is on your important meeting that is on your radar, and these things are anxiety inducing. I want to talk to you about something you can do. I think one thing that I think is helpful is reminding your brain of times that you have already, sorry, I'm gonna move these, I keep knocking into them. Remind your brain of times that you have already done this successfully. So, you know, if you're obviously, you need to prepare for an exam, right? You need to study, you need to do the work. But a lot of times our brain gets in the way, and our brain can kind of scare us. Our brain creates more anxiety than is necessary or appropriate. And so I think it can be really helpful to remind yourself and actively think about the fact that you have been through challenging tests before and you've done well. You have interviewed really well before. You have presented really well before, okay? So remind yourself that you've done this in the past successfully, okay? I love that. I love the sound that it makes when you peel them apart. So that's the first thing that I think, the first step in what I want to talk about with you tonight. And then the next thing that I think is really good is, you know, surely you're familiar with like manifestation and all that stuff. And the science-y part of this is your brain is like not great at differentiating, and this is part of why manifestation works, right? Your brain is not great at differentiating between real, like actual memories of things that have happened and things that you have created in your head. So that's why they talk about things like having that mindset of already accomplishing the goals that you want. But it really genuinely helps prepare your brain to already be successful. So at first we are talking about reminding your brain of the times. I'm really into that sound lately. I'm just like playing with it, not actually, because this is not a very good one, so the pops are not really that great. But I like the sound of just playing with it like that. So, you know, you can remind yourself that you've done it successfully, but now let's take that a step further and like let's truly envision yourself doing really well, whether it's the exam, whether it's the interview, whether it's the important meeting. First, we're priming our brain by remembering that we are good at this. We have done this. We have been here before. You have already walked down this path and you've made it to the other side. You have already done this. Your brain knows how to do this successfully. You just have to remember. So you're priming your brain in that way, okay? And then the next thing you're doing is imagining you've already done this specific thing successfully. Okay. So that's sort of the mindset I want you to be in, right? And I think that those are helpful tools as you're approaching something. But what I also want to offer you is, you know, with all of this stuff, there's a million different ways to get to the same destination, right? So you don't need to do everything the exact same way to get to the same place. So if those don't resonate with you, if that doesn't feel authentic, if that doesn't feel like something you think you can do, another trick that I like that works for some people. Forgot about my drink. We're doing a little pamplemousse tonight. I'm willing to bet 99% of the world's population didn't know what pamplemousse was until LaCroix. I feel like it's a very popular LaCroix flavor, but I don't think a ton of people knew what pamplemousse was. Okay, so if trying to like literally manifest the sensation of already being successful in this anxiety-inducing task is not working for you, what I want to offer you is a completely different way to frame your thought process. If you're having a hard time, I want you to imagine the worst case scenario. I want you to think about the absolute worst case scenario. Like, let's really play it out. Let's really play it out. If you fail this test, what happens? Are you going to get kicked out of college? Is it going to be the end of your career? You know? And it's like, you can just go down this path of like, what is truly the worst case scenario? If you bomb an interview, just try again. Try for a different job. If you mess up an important presentation, like, it's like, I guess what I'm getting at is sometimes we build things up, but the actual worst case scenario is rarely as bad as we tend to think it will be. I think this one is so cute. I haven't played with it in a while, but it's kind of loud. I don't know, I don't think it's like the best, but I just think it's cute. Yeah, like, you know, think about the worst case scenario. If you give a bad presentation, are you going to be fired? Probably not. If you bomb a test, are you going to fail the entire class? Probably not. So, you know, just play it out, and then, so think about what it could or would look like. And then from there, I want you to also take it another step. And think about the fact that this is a single moment in time. One single snapshot. One single moment in time. This is one moment in time, and I want you to think about like the scariest, biggest moments in your history that are like similar, not scary, but it's like similar in intensity. I thought I'd bring this back if you've never seen this before. This, I don't know how to, there you go, is the specs, balls. So let's say you, in the past, you know, there's an exam that you absolutely flunked. You're still standing, you're still here now, you survived that, you know. There have been interviews where you have not gotten the job in the past, and you made it through. You survived that. So it's similar to the first one, but you're playing out the worst case scenario, and you're remembering that you have survived that. It is a moment in time. You've been here before, and you made it through okay. And even if that happens, you will be okay. You will make it. You will make it through. But yeah, thinking about like, okay, let's play this out. Worst case scenario, and even if it does, you know, it's not the end of the world. And it's really, even all of our hardest times yield our biggest growth. That's like a rule. That is like an absolute, I think it's hard to argue with that, you know. It's like, because discomfort is what forces growth. So it's like sometimes hard stuff is the most important time for you to learn and grow, you know. So in that way, it's like the challenge becomes, or the hardship becomes even less scary, because it's like this isn't actually potentially a real growth opportunity in disguise, you know. I think I may have talked about this before, but I can give a couple examples just in my own life, you know. I've talked a little bit about this, so I don't mind being open about this. Like my work situation changed, and I was laid off, which was really scary and hard, but this is kind of the stuff I would do. I would give guidance and counsel people on different things, and I love that work, but I also have been wanting a change, you know. I have been wanting to try something different and grow and do different things, and so this is kind of forcing me to take that next step, you know. And it's forcing me to grow, whereas if I had just stayed put, it may have taken me much longer to try to make a big change, right? So that is an example of something that like was considered, you know, an anxiety-inducing hard thing, and the reality is it's going to put me in a new position, which is only good for me. But I wouldn't have taken that leap if I didn't have to. I'm sorry, y'all. I feel like I'm super rambly tonight. I'm a little bit tired, and so I feel like this went in a different direction, but it's all still connected in the sense of like, how can we overcome these high moments of anxiety and stress, you know? It is the same kind of thing, because it's like, I've been here before, and I have, earlier in my career, I was laid off at another company, And that really was similar. In the moment, it's hard, it's scary, and it's so anxiety inducing to not have a job. But then that led me to even better opportunities that I never would have considered if I wasn't available and looking for work, you know. And that completely, honestly, that I can say the first time that I ever got laid off early in my career because the role changed, that really put me on the trajectory for my entire life. It changed my life dramatically when that happened, because when I first got laid off, that is what resulted in me accepting a job on the West Coast and moving out here. So, you know, that would be an example of thinking about the fact that I've been in a hard time before and I survived, you know? So I rambled myself out of my train of thought, but I think that's okay. What I was getting at was, you know, it's a moment in time, it's a snapshot in time, and in the future, when you think back, is it going to stand out as this big, devastating thing? And again, be very honest with yourself. Think about some of the hard things. Or is it just going to be a piece of your history, a piece of the story, a piece of your background that you have since moved past? You know, I think we are capable of such incredible things, but sometimes it really takes certain circumstances to like force it out of us, you know? So, okay, I am so all over the place tonight. Like, I'm just a little groggy. I hope that made sense. I'm gonna try to summarize it, but if you are really anxious about something, if you're going through something hard, or if you're, you know, if you're preparing for an exam, an interview, if you're stressed about something, some tools to help navigate are thinking about the fact that you've done this before successfully. You know how to do this. You are confident. You are capable. I believe in you. You believe in you. You can do it. And then visualize and really think about doing the task at hand successfully, moving through this situation successfully. And if that's not appealing to you, or you want to try something different, you know, you can also just play it out. Okay, I completely botched this. I completely bombed this. What's the worst case scenario? What's the worst thing that could happen? What does it look like? One day I'll get fast at that. When I don't even know what I'm doing really. I'm just like hoping enough fingers make contact. If that doesn't work, okay, go in the full opposite direction. What's the worst thing that could happen? What's the worst possible outcome? It is probably not as bad as your brain is letting you think it is. Okay. And then finally, if that worst case, horrible, stressful thing does end up happening, it is one moment. It is one moment in time that 10 years from now, shoot yourself out into the future. Literally think about yourself. 10 years from now, will this matter? 10 years from now, it doesn't make it. It doesn't mean it's not important. It doesn't mean it's not a big deal. But 10 years from now, will it be the main focus of your life? 10 years from now, I will look back and I will think, oh, that time I lost that job put me on the track to pursue these other opportunities, which is exactly what happened the first time, you know? That's the inevitability of that, you know? So, okay. I'm gonna end it here before I go off on another wacky tangent because I'm sleepy. But, I had that idea in my head and I wanted to share that with you in case it's helpful, and I hope some part of that is helpful. I hope some part of that resonates. I just wanna give you a hug. But okay. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being you.